He didn't know that the dying man on the sidewalk was about to make him a millionaire. But first, Jamal Washington had to choose: save a stranger's life or save his own. The rain is coming down like hammers in downtown Chicago. Jamal sprints toward the most important interview of his life, clutching his resume in a plastic bag. This one-job interview could change everything. Then he sees the old white man collapsed on the concrete. The briefcase exploded open, papers flying everywhere. The stranger is gasping, clutching his chest, his face turning gray. Jamal's phone shows 7 minutes until his interview starts. The building is 4 blocks away. Everyone else just walks past the dying man. But Jamal stops. He has no idea that this choice will put him face to face with the most powerful CEO in Chicago, and that this stranger will soon hand him the keys to a $50 million empire. But let me tell you how Jamal Washington got to that life-changing moment on the sidewalk. 6 hours earlier, Jamal's alarm clock screams at 5:30 a.m. in his cramped South Side apartment. The sound bounces off paper-thin walls that barely contain the noise from his upstairs neighbors. He doesn't snooze, can't afford to. Today is different. Today could be the day that changes everything. Jamal rolls out of bed and steps carefully around the bucket catching water from the ceiling leak. The landlord promised to fix it 3 months ago, right around the time the rent went up. In the bathroom mirror, he practices his interview answers for the 100th time. Why do you want to work for Morrison & Associates Financial? His reflection stares back, dark circles under brown eyes that still sparkle with hope despite everything. 3 years of unemployment will do that to a man. Beat you down, but somehow make you stronger. Because I believe in building something bigger than myself, he whispers to the mirror. The suit hanging on his bedroom door isn't his. It belongs to Mr. Rodriguez from 3B, who wore it to his own son's wedding last year. Jamal borrowed it because his only good clothes got ruined when the washing machine in the basement flooded last month. He irons the suit carefully on a towel spread across his kitchen table. Every crease matters today. The apartment is small but clean. Jamal makes sure of that. His mother always said, "Son, we might not have much money, but we got dignity. Keep your space clean and your head up." Speaking of his mother. "Morning, Mama." Jamal peeks into her bedroom where she's already awake, testing her blood sugar with the glucose meter they can barely afford to keep stocked with strips. "How are you feeling today?" "Better." She lies. He knows she's lying. The diabetes has been getting worse, but the insulin costs $400 a month. Even with her part-time job at the grocery store, they're always choosing between medication and rent. "You nervous about your big interview, baby?" "A little." He sits on the edge of her bed. What if I mess it up? What if they take one look at me and decide I don't belong there? His mother takes his hand. Her fingers are thin now, thinner than they used to be. "Jamal Washington, you listen to me. Your father fought in 2 wars for this country. He came home and worked 3 jobs to give us a life. You got his heart, you got his strength, and you got something else." "What's that?" "You see people, really see them. That's worth more than any fancy degree." On his nightstand sits a framed photo of his father in military uniform. Staff Sergeant Michael Washington. He died when Jamal was 12, but not before teaching his son the most important lesson. Character is what you do when nobody's watching. Jamal counts out exact bus fare from a mason jar labeled Interview Fund, $2.50. He's been saving quarters for 3 weeks to make sure he has transportation today. His research notes are written on napkins and receipt backs. He couldn't afford notebooks, so he used whatever paper he could find. Morrison & Associates Financial, founded 30 years ago, known for community investment and ethical business practices. "That big company downtown, the one that helped rebuild the community center last year," his mother had said when he told her about the interview. "They seem like good people." His phone buzzes. A text from his little sister Maya, away at community college on a partial scholarship. Today's the day you become successful, right, big brother? The pressure hits him like a weight on his chest. Maya believes in him. His mother believes in him. Hell, half the neighborhood is rooting for him after word got out about the interview. Mrs. Patterson from downstairs gave him a good luck card yesterday. Mr. Brooks from the corner store slipped him a free energy drink. "For your big day," he said with a wink. But belief doesn't pay the bills. Belief doesn't buy insulin. Belief doesn't fix the leak in the ceiling or the broken heater that makes the apartment feel like an icebox in winter. Jamal needs this job. I don't want it. I need it. Outside his window, he can see the Chicago skyline in the distance. All those tall buildings filled with people who never worry about choosing between food and medicine. People who've never had their lights shut off or counted quarters for bus fare. He's not bitter about it. That's the thing about Jamal Washington. 3 years of rejection letters and dead-end interviews haven't made him angry at the world. If anything, they've made him more determined to lift up others once he gets his shot. "You ready, son?" his mother calls from the kitchen. "Ready as I'll ever be." But as Jamal steps outside into the gray Chicago morning, he notices storm clouds gathering in the distance. The weather app on his cracked phone screen shows a 90% chance of heavy rain. He doesn't have an umbrella. He can't afford one. "Please don't rain until after the interview," he whispers to the sky. The bus arrives right on time. Jamal climbs aboard and takes a seat near the back. As they drive through downtown, the bus passes the gleaming headquarters of Morrison & Associates Financial. 37 floors of steel and glass reaching toward the clouds. In a few hours, he'll be sitting in that building, trying to convince strangers that he deserves a chance. He had no idea that his greatest opportunity was about to come disguised as the worst possible timing. And then the storm hit. Not just rain. A Chicago downpour that turns streets into rivers and sends everyone running for cover. Jamal steps off the bus 3 blocks from Morrison & Associates Financial. The sky opens up like someone ripped a hole in heaven. Water pours down in sheets so thick he can barely see 10 feet ahead. His phone shows 9:52 a.m., 8 minutes until the most important interview of his life. But the streets are chaotic. Cars crawl through flooding intersections. Horns blare. Emergency sirens wail in the distance. Steam rises from manholes like the city is breathing fire. Jamal pulls his plastic bag tighter around his resume and runs. That's when he sees him. An elderly white man, maybe late 60s, struggling with a heavy leather briefcase. The man is well-dressed, expensive suit, even Jamal can tell that. But the briefcase is fighting him, and the wind is winning. Then it happens. A gust of wind rips the briefcase from the old man's hands. The latches pop open. Papers explode everywhere like confetti in a tornado. Important-looking documents, financial reports, legal papers, business cards, all of it scattering across the flooded sidewalk. "No, no, no!" The old man lunges for the papers, but his dress shoes slip on the wet concrete. He goes down hard. Jamal stops running. His phone shows 9:53 a.m. 7 minutes. The old man is on his hands and knees, scrambling for soggy documents. His white hair is plastered to his head. His face is flushed red, almost purple. Then Jamal hears it, the sound that changes everything. "Help! Please!" The man's breathing is wrong. Short, sharp gasps, like he can't get enough air. His left hand clutches his chest. Panic attack. Maybe worse. Jamal has seen this before. His mother had one last year when the medical bills piled up so high she couldn't see over them. All around them, people hurry past. Umbrellas tilted against the wind. Everyone focused on getting to their own important meetings, their own dry places. A businessman in a $1,000 coat steps around the old man without even looking down. A woman in heels clicks past, talking loudly on her phone about quarterly reports. Nobody stops. Nobody helps. The old man is invisible to them, but not to Jamal. 9:54 a.m. 6 minutes until his interview. The Morrison and Associates building is right there. 4 blocks through this storm. He can see it rising above the chaos like a glass mountain. This job could save his family. 3 years of unemployment. His mother's insulin. Maya's college dreams. Everything riding on the next few minutes. But this stranger is dying on the sidewalk. Jamal looks closer at the scattered papers. Through the rain, he catches glimpses of letterhead. Morrison and Associates. Wait, that's... No time to process that. The old man's breathing is getting worse. Sir? Sir, can you hear me? The man looks up. His eyes are wide with fear and confusion. My chest. Can't breathe. His skin is pale, almost gray. Sweat mixes with rainwater on his forehead. This isn't just a panic attack. This could be a heart attack. Jamal checks his phone again. 9:55 a.m. 5 minutes. He thinks about his father's photo on the nightstand. Staff Sergeant Michael Washington. Character is what you do when nobody's watching, son. But people are watching. The whole universe is watching. This is his moment. His one shot. The old man tries to stand but stumbles. Help me! Please! Cars splash through puddles, sending waves across the sidewalk. The rain pounds harder. A taxi honks impatiently at the scene, then speeds away. Jamal looks at the Morrison and Associates building one more time. So close. So far. Then he drops his bag. I've got you, sir. I've got you. 9:56 a.m. What Jamal doesn't know is that those scattered papers around them include quarterly reports worth millions of dollars, financial documents that could move markets. What he doesn't know is that this well-dressed stranger carries business cards with his name embossed in gold. Harold Morrison, Chairman and CEO. What he doesn't know is that he's kneeling outside the very building where he was supposed to interview in 4 minutes. All Jamal knows is that a human being needs help, and everyone else walks away. But this choice, this moment of character under pressure, is about to reveal something extraordinary. Because Harold Morrison didn't just build a $50 million company by accident. He built it by recognizing something most people miss. The true measure of a person isn't what they do when they have everything to gain. It's what they do when they have everything to lose. Jamal drops to his knees beside the stranger. Sir, what's your name? Harold. Harold Morrison. The name doesn't register. Not yet. Jamal is focused on one thing, keeping this man alive. Mr. Morrison, I'm Jamal. You're having trouble breathing, right? Harold nods, his face contorting with pain. Sweat mixes with rainwater on his forehead. Okay, we're going to get through this together. Look at me. Just look at me. Jamal's phone is already out, dialing 911. 3 years of caring for his mother taught him to recognize the signs. Chest pain, shortness of breath, sweating. This could go bad fast. 911, what's your emergency? I need an ambulance at the corner of LaSalle and Madison. Elderly man, possible heart attack or panic attack. Can you describe his symptoms? Chest pain, difficulty breathing, pale skin, sweating profusely. Units are delayed due to severe weather conditions, sir. How delayed? 15 to 20 minutes minimum. Harold's breathing gets worse. Shallow, rapid gasps. His eyes dart around wildly. That's too long. Way too long. Jamal pockets his phone and immediately takes off his suit jacket. Mr. Rodriguez's wedding suit, the only nice clothes he has access to. Without hesitation, he drapes it over Harold to shield him from the torrential rain. What are you doing? Harold gasps between breaths. Keeping you dry, sir. Jamal kneels directly in the growing puddle. Ice-cold water soaks through his dress pants and into his skin. The rain pounds his back and shoulders mercilessly, but Harold stays protected under the jacket. Your interview. Harold notices through his distress. Even in panic, he's observing this young man sacrifice something important. Don't worry about that right now. Jamal adjusts his position to better block the wind. You're what matters. The scattered papers are everywhere, dissolving into pulp. Financial reports, legal documents, business cards floating like tiny boats in the flood. Jamal starts frantically grabbing what he can, stuffing soggy documents into Harold's expensive leather briefcase. "Leave them," Harold whispers weakly. "No, sir. These look important to you." What Jamal doesn't know is that he's saving quarterly reports worth $50 million, SEC filings that could move markets, board meeting notes that contain merger secrets. He just knows they matter to this struggling stranger. A security guard from the Morrison & Associates building pokes his head out of the lobby doors. "Everything okay out there?" he shouts over the storm. "I need help." Jamal waves frantically. "This man needs medical attention. Can you call 911? The guard looks at the sheets of rain, then at Harold collapsed on the ground, then back at his warm, dry marble lobby. "Ambulance is probably already coming," he calls out, then retreats inside where it's safe. Jamal stares in disbelief, then immediately refocuses on Harold. "Mr. Morrison, talk to me. Stay with me." Can't breathe. Harold's lips are starting to turn blue, his fingernails too. This is escalating beyond a simple panic attack. Jamal remembers exactly what the paramedics taught him when his mother had her attack last year. Keep them calm, keep them conscious, keep them breathing steadily. "Tell me about your family, Mr. Morrison." "What?" Harold's eyes focus on Jamal's face. "Your family. Do you have a wife? Children?" Harold's breathing slows slightly as his mind shifts focus. "Wife, Margaret. Married 42 years. 42 years? That's incredible. What's she like?" "Stubborn as hell." Harold almost manages a smile through the pain. "Won't let me eat bacon anymore. Says it'll kill me. Sounds like a smart woman who loves you. Any children?" "2 daughters, Sarah and Rebecca. Both became doctors. Following in Dad's footsteps of helping people, I bet. They'd be so proud of how brave you're being right now." The conversation is working. Harold's breathing becomes more controlled, less frantic. A yellow taxi pulls up to the curb, splashing water everywhere. "You guys need a ride to the hospital?" The driver rolls down his window halfway. "Yes, please!" Jamal waves desperately. The driver takes one look at Harold on the ground, soaked, pale, clearly in medical distress. "Sorry, buddy, can't take him like that. Insurance won't cover it if something happens. Liability issues, you know?" The taxi speeds away, leaving them in the storm. Jamal wants to scream at the injustice, but Harold needs him to stay calm and focused. "Mr. Morrison, I'm going to help you sit up against this building wall, okay? Get you out of the puddle." Jamal carefully lifts Harold, supporting most of his weight. His own white dress shirt is now completely transparent with rain, clinging to his skin. His borrowed dress shoes are ruined, leather cracking from the water, but Harold stays covered and protected by the suit jacket. "You're getting completely soaked," Harold notices, studying Jamal's face intently. "I've been wet before, sir. Won't be the last time." Through his medical distress, Harold is watching something remarkable unfold. This young man is sacrificing everything: his interview, his clothes, his comfort for a complete stranger. "Why?" Harold asks quietly. "Why are you helping me?" "Because you needed help," Jamal answers simply. "But your interview, it was important." Jamal checks his waterlogged phone. 10:03 a.m. The interview started 3 minutes ago. His screen shows 3 missed calls from Morrison & Associates Human Resources. The crushing irony isn't lost on him. The company he desperately wants to work for is calling while he kneels in a flood, saving a stranger's life on their very doorstep. "There'll be other interviews," Jamal says quietly, though his heart is breaking. But they both know that's not true. In this economy, with his background, opportunities like this don't come around twice. Finally, blessed sirens pierce through the storm. The ambulance can't navigate the flooded intersection, so two paramedics grab their equipment and run through the storm toward them. What's the situation? The first paramedic drops her bag. Chest pain, difficulty breathing, started about 15 minutes ago, Jamal reports clearly. The patient has been conscious the entire time. Name is Harold Morrison, appears to be late 60s. The paramedics exchange impressed looks. Excellent work keeping him stable. They work quickly and efficiently, checking vitals, blood pressure, administering oxygen through a clear mask. Harold's color improves almost immediately. You likely prevented this from becoming much worse, the second paramedic tells Jamal. Severe panic attacks can trigger actual cardiac events in older patients. As they carefully load Harold onto the stretcher, he reaches out and grabs Jamal's wrist with surprising strength. Come with me to the hospital. Sir, you'll be fine now. I should let the professionals... Please. Harold's eyes are intense, pleading. I need to know you're okay too. Jamal looks at his ruined phone showing more missed calls. The interview is over. 3 years of unemployment, just extended indefinitely. His family's financial crisis continues, but this man almost died alone on a sidewalk and somehow survived because one person cared enough to stop. Okay, Mr. Morrison, I'll ride with you. In the ambulance, Harold watches Jamal closely, really studies him. This young man sacrificed everything, destroyed his appearance, missed his career opportunity, stayed in freezing rain, all for a stranger. Jamal? Yes, sir? What was that interview for? Jamal looks down at his soaked resume, the carefully prepared pages now just wet pulp. Morrison and Associates Financial. Harold's eyes widened in shock. But before he can respond, the paramedic interrupts. We're here. Everyone out. What Harold Morrison doesn't reveal in that critical moment will change both their lives forever. Because he's not just any CEO. He's the CEO who personally conducts final interviews for key positions. The CEO who was supposed to meet Jamal in his office 20 minutes ago. The CEO who just witnessed something more valuable than any resume could ever demonstrate. He just watched a man choose character over career. And Harold Morrison has spent 30 years building a company, waiting to find someone exactly like that. 2 hours later, Jamal sits in the hospital waiting room, still in his wet clothes. His phone is dead. His resume is destroyed. His borrowed suit is ruined beyond repair. But Harold Morrison is alive, and that's what matters. Mr. Washington? A doctor in scrubs approaches. I'm Dr. Brooks. You came in with Mr. Morrison? Yes. Is he okay? He's stable. Severe panic attack triggered by stress, but his heart is strong. What you did out there, you likely prevented something much more serious. Relief floods through Jamal like warm water. Can I see him? He's been asking for you. Harold's private room is nothing like the emergency rooms Jamal knows from his mother's visits. This is where people with good insurance come. Soft lighting, comfortable chairs, a window overlooking the city. Harold looks better, color in his cheeks, breathing normally. But his eyes light up when Jamal walks in. There he is, my guardian angel. How are you feeling, Mr. Morrison? Much better, thanks to you. Harold sits up straighter in his bed. Jamal, I need to repay you. Sir, you don't owe me anything. Yes, I do. Harold's voice grows firm. You sacrificed your interview for me. You ruined your clothes. Let me buy you a new suit. Let me call Morrison and Associates and explain what happened. Jamal holds up a hand. Mr. Morrison, with respect, I can't accept that. Why not? Because I didn't help you for a reward. Jamal's voice is quiet but certain. I helped you because it was the right thing to do. Harold studies his face intently. This young man is serious, completely serious. At least let me replace your suit. You said it was borrowed? From my neighbor, yes. But Mr. Rodriguez will understand. Some things matter more than clothes. Harold reaches for his wallet, pulls out $300 in cash. Please, for your family, your mother's medicine. How did you... Jamal stops. He must have mentioned his mother in the ambulance. Mr. Morrison, I appreciate the offer, but no. I can't take money from you. You're unemployed. You missed an important interview because of me. That was my choice. Harold leans back against his pillows, amazed. In his 40 years of business, he's met thousands of people. Politicians, executives, investors. Everyone wanted something from him. But this young man is refusing money he desperately needs. Tell me about yourself, Jamal. What do you do? I'm looking for work. Been unemployed for 3 years now. What kind of work? Anything honest. But I studied business administration at community college. Always dreamed of working in finance, helping people build better futures. Harold nods slowly. And that interview today? What position? Entry-level analyst position at Morrison & Associates Financial. Harold's pulse quickens, but he keeps his expression neutral. What do you know about the company? They're known for ethical business practices, community investment. I read that they helped rebuild the community center in my neighborhood last year. What attracted you to them? Jamal thinks carefully. Their philosophy. That business should serve people, not the other way around. That success means lifting up your community. Harold pulls out a business card from his bedside table. I want you to have this. Jamal glances at it quickly. Harold Morrison, Chairman and CEO. The words don't fully register. Mr. Morrison, you should rest. You've been through a lot today. So have you. Harold tries again to explain his position, but Jamal cuts him off gently. Sir, you don't need to justify anything to me. I'm just glad you're okay. Harold watches Jamal carefully pocket the business card without really reading it. What will you do now? About work? Jamal sighs. Keep looking, I guess. There'll be other opportunities. Will there? Have to believe that. Faith is all I've got left. Harold feels something shift in his chest. Not medical this time. Emotional. Here's a young man who gave up everything for a stranger, who refuses money he needs, who still has faith despite 3 years of rejection. Jamal? Yes, sir? You said character is what you do when nobody's watching, but what about when everybody's watching? I don't understand. Today, everyone was watching. The security guard, the taxi driver, all those people who walked past. But you stopped. Jamal shrugs. Someone had to. Harold closes his eyes briefly. 30 years of building a company. 30 years of looking for the right person to carry on his values. And he just found him on a sidewalk in the rain. But Jamal doesn't know that yet. What he doesn't know is that his missed opportunity was actually the beginning of something extraordinary. The next morning, something feels different in Jamal's neighborhood. He's back to his routine. Coffee from a cracked mug, job search on his laptop with the flickering screen. But the universe seems to be sending signals. His mother calls from the kitchen. Baby, there's a fancy black car parked outside our building. Jamal looks out the window. A sleek Mercedes sedan with tinted windows sits at the curb. The kind of car that costs more than his family makes in 5 years. Probably lost, he says, but something about it makes him uneasy. His phone rings. Unknown number. He doesn't answer. Debt collectors have been calling for months, and he's learned to ignore them. It rings again. Different numbers. Then again. Jamal, you should answer that, his mother suggests. It's probably nothing good, Mama. But the calls keep coming. On the kitchen counter, yesterday's soggy clothes sit in a pile. Jamal pulls out Harold's business card from the pants pocket, finally taking a real look at it. Harold Morrison, Chairman and CEO, Morrison & Associates Financial. The words hit him like lightning. Morrison and Associates, the same company where he was supposed to interview yesterday. Jamal's hands start shaking. He grabs his laptop and searches Harold Morrison, CEO, Morrison and Associates. The results flood his screen. Forbes articles, business journal interviews, a Wikipedia page with Harold's photo. It's him. The man he saved yesterday. The man clutching his chest on the sidewalk. Harold Morrison isn't just some businessman. He's the founder and CEO of a $50 million financial empire. The same company Jamal desperately wanted to work for. "Oh my God," Jamal whispers. His mother looks over. "What's wrong, baby?" "The man I helped yesterday, he's the CEO of the company that was interviewing me." "What does that mean?" "I don't know." Jamal keeps reading. Harold Morrison, 68 years old, built Morrison and Associates from nothing 30 years ago. Known for his philanthropy and character-based business philosophy. One article quotes him, "I don't hire based on credentials alone. I hire based on who people are when they think no one is watching." Jamal's phone rings again. This time, he recognizes the number. Morrison and Associates Human Resources. He stares at the screen, heart pounding. Yesterday, he missed their calls while saving Harold's life. Now they're calling again. But why? Is Harold angry that Jamal missed the interview? Is he calling to complain about the unprofessional young man who let him down? Or could it be something else? Jamal thinks about their conversation in the hospital. How Harold asked detailed questions about his background, his philosophy, his dreams. How Harold watched him so intently, like he was studying something important. The phone stops ringing, goes to voicemail, but then it starts ringing again. Harold Morrison isn't finished with Jamal Washington, not by a long shot. Jamal's phone rings one more time. This time he answers. "Hello? Jamal? This is Harold Morrison." The voice is calm, strong, nothing like the desperate gasps from yesterday's storm. "Mr. Morrison, how are you feeling?" "Much better, thanks to you." "Jamal, I need to see you. Can we meet for lunch today?" "Sir, you should be resting." "I've been resting all morning, but we need to talk. There's something important I need to tell you." Jamal's stomach knots. "Am I in trouble? About the interview yesterday?" Harold's laugh is warm. "No, son. You're not in trouble. But I think you'll find our conversation very interesting. Where would you like to meet? Do you know Mama Rosa's on 47th Street? Jamal blinks. That's in his neighborhood. A small diner where he sometimes gets coffee when he has an extra $1. "Yes, sir, but I'll see you there at noon." And Jamal? "Yes, sir. Bring an open mind." The line goes dead. 2 hours later, Jamal walks into Mama Rosa's wearing his only clean shirt and his father's old dress pants. He spots Harold immediately. The CEO sits in a corner booth looking completely out of place among the cracked vinyl seats and faded photographs. But he's smiling, comfortable. "Thank you for coming." Harold stands to shake Jamal's hand. "Please, sit." They order coffee. Harold insists on paying despite Jamal's protests. "You look confused," Harold observes. "I am, sir. I spent all morning reading about you online. Morrison and Associates, your company, and yesterday. Yesterday you saved my life outside my own building." The words hang in the air. "I've been thinking about that," Harold continues. "About what happened. About you." "Mr. Morrison, I'm sorry I missed the interview. I know you probably have procedures." Harold holds up a hand. "Jamal, let me ask you something. Do you know what I was doing yesterday morning, before the panic attack?" "No, sir. I was in my office preparing to conduct final interviews myself, for a very special position." Jamal's coffee cup freezes halfway to his lips. "You see, I don't just hire anyone at Morrison and Associates. We're not just another financial firm. We're trying to build something different. something that matters. Harold leans forward. For 30 years, I've been looking for someone who shares my values. Someone who understands that business should serve people, not profit alone. Sir, I don't understand. Yesterday morning, I was stressed about whether we'd find the right person, whether anyone still believed in doing the right thing, even when it costs them something. Harold's eyes lock on Jamal's. Then I had a panic attack, brought on by that exact stress. And you know what happened next? Jamal nods slowly. A young man missed his own interview to save a stranger's life. A young man who refused money he desperately needed because he hadn't helped me for a reward. The pieces start clicking into place. Jamal's eyes widened. You were supposed to interview me. I was supposed to interview several candidates yesterday, but the universe had a different plan. Harold pulls out a folder. I've been reviewing your application all morning. Community college graduate. 3 years unemployed, but never stopped volunteering at the local food bank. References that describe you as the most honest person I know. Mr. Morrison. But resumes only tell part of the story, don't they? Yesterday I saw the rest. Harold's voice grows intense. I watched you choose character over career. I watched you sacrifice everything for a stranger. I watched you refuse a reward because it wasn't why you helped. Jamal can barely breathe. Jamal, I didn't just build Morrison and Associates to make money. I built it to prove that business can be a force for good, that success and integrity aren't opposites. Sir, what are you saying? I'm saying that yesterday wasn't bad timing. It was perfect timing. Harold slides a document across the table. I'm offering you a position, but not the entry-level analyst job you applied for. Jamal looks down. The letterhead reads, Executive Assistant to the Chairman. I want to teach you everything about this business. How we operate. How we make decisions. How we balance profit with purpose. Mr. Morrison, I don't have the experience. Experience can be taught. Characters can't. Harold's voice is firm. You already showed me your character when you thought no one was watching, or when everyone was watching, and you were the only one who cared. Jamal stares at the offer letter. The salary number makes his head spin. More money than his family has seen in years. There's more, Harold continues. Full health insurance for you and your mother. Education benefits so you can finish your degree. And after 2 years, if you prove yourself, we'll discuss a partnership track. Partnership? Jamal, I'm 68 years old. I've spent 3 decades building something I'm proud of, but I won't live forever. I need someone to carry on the mission. Someone who understands that our real job isn't managing money, it's changing lives. The weight of what Harold is saying crashes over Jamal like a wave. You're talking about eventually running the company? I'm talking about finding my successor. Someone who will keep Morrison and Associates true to its values long after I'm gone. Harold reaches across the table. Son, I didn't just witness good character yesterday. I witnessed the future of my company. But why me? You don't really know me. I know enough. I know that when faced with a choice between self-interest and helping others, you chose to help. I know that when offered easy money, you refused on principle. I know that you see business as a way to serve people, not use them. Harold's smile is gentle but determined. Jamal, you didn't miss your opportunity yesterday. You created it. You're offering me a chance to eventually run a $50 million company because I helped you in the rain? I'm offering you a chance to earn it, because you showed me something I've been searching for my entire career. What's that? A person who does the right thing when it costs them everything. But Harold Morrison isn't finished, not even close, because what he's about to propose will change not just Jamal's life, but his entire community. Harold slides another document across the table. But there's something else I want to discuss with you. Jamal looks down at the new papers. The header reads, The Character Initiative, Morrison and Associates Community Investment Program. What is this? This is why I really need you, Jamal. Not just for the business operations, for something much bigger. Harold's voice takes on an intensity Jamal hasn't heard before. Yesterday, when I watched you help me, I realized something. You're not the only person out there with good character. There are others. People who do the right thing when no one's watching. People who help strangers. People who choose integrity over advantage. I suppose that's true. But here's the problem. Good character doesn't pay the bills. It doesn't get you business loans. It doesn't open doors. Harold points to the document. I want to change that. Jamal reads the first page. His eyes widened. The Character Initiative will identify individuals who demonstrate exceptional integrity in their daily lives. Then, we'll invest in them. Business loans at 0% interest. Educational scholarships, startup funding. All based on one criteria, character. Mr. Morrison, this is revolutionary? I hope so. We're going to prove that investing in good people is the best business strategy in the world. Harold leans back. But I can't do it alone. I need someone who understands what we're looking for, someone who's lived it. You want me to help run this program? I want you to design it. You'll work directly with me, learning the business. But your primary responsibility will be building the Character Initiative from the ground up. Jamal's mind races. How would we find these people? That's where you come in. You know what a real character looks like. You've lived in communities where people help each other despite having nothing themselves. Harold pulls out his phone, shows Jamal a news article. I've already started researching. Last month, a single mother in Atlanta missed her job interview to help an elderly man change a flat tire. She got fired from her previous job for refusing to overcharge customers. What happened to her? She's working 3 part-time jobs to pay rent, but she has a business degree and a dream of opening a daycare center. Can we help her? We're going to help her. Interest-free loan to start her business mentorship, marketing support. All because she chose to help a stranger when she had everything to lose. Jamal feels something stirring in his chest, hope mixed with excitement. There's a veteran in Detroit who uses his disability check to buy groceries for his elderly neighbors. A teacher in Phoenix who spends her own money on supplies for low-income students. A mechanic in Memphis who fixes cars for free when people can't afford repairs. Harold's eyes light up. These people exist everywhere, but they're invisible to traditional investors because they don't fit conventional success metrics. So we find them and invest in them? More than that. We create a network. Character Initiative recipients become mentors for new recipients. Successful businesses help fund new startups. We build a community of people who believe in lifting each other up. Jamal stares at the proposal. It's ambitious beyond anything he's ever imagined. Mr. Morrison, this could help thousands of people. Tens of thousands. Maybe more. Harold's voice drops to a whisper. Jamal, what if good character wasn't a disadvantage anymore? What if it became an advantage? The impact would be massive. But here's the thing. I can fund the initial investment. I can provide the business expertise, but I can't identify the right people. I'm too removed from those communities. Harold looks directly at Jamal. You're not. The weight of what Harold is proposing hits Jamal fully. You want me to help change how the business world works. I want us to prove that character-based investing isn't just morally right. It's profitable. People with integrity work harder. They treat customers better. They build loyal teams. They create sustainable businesses. Harold pulls out financial projections. Conservative estimates suggest we could achieve 15% annual returns while creating jobs, supporting communities, and changing lives. Jamal studies the numbers. They're compelling. But there's one more thing, Harold says quietly. What's that? Your mother's medical expenses. Full coverage through our health plan. Best doctors in Chicago. No more choosing between insulin and rent. Jamal's eyes fill with tears. Sir. And your sister Maya. Full scholarship through our education fund. She can finish college without debt. Mr. Morrison, this is too much. No, it's not. It's what happens when someone with resources recognizes real character and decides to invest in it. Harold stands up. But I need you to understand something. This isn't charity. This is business. I'm investing in you because I believe you'll make Morrison and Associates more profitable and more impactful. How long do I have to decide? 48 hours. But there's one condition. What's that? Harold smiles. I want you to find 3 people in your community who need help. People who've demonstrated character when it cost them something. Figure out how we could assist them. Show me you understand the vision. Jamal nods slowly. 3 people. 3 people who prove that character-based investing can work. Harold puts on his coat. Jamal, yesterday you thought helping one person was a big decision. You're about to discover how one act of kindness can transform an entire community. What if I can't find 3 people? Harold's smile is confident. You will. Because you see what others miss. You see the good in people when they don't see it in themselves. As Harold walks toward the door, he turns back. By the way, that panic attack yesterday? It wasn't just about stress. It was about fear. Fear that I'd built something meaningful but couldn't find the right person to carry it forward. And now? Now I'm not afraid anymore. Harold Morrison had just offered Jamal Washington the keys to a $50 million empire. But more than that, he'd offered him the chance to prove that kindness could change the world. 6 months later, everything has changed. But not in the way you might expect. Jamal Washington stands in the conference room of Morrison and Associates Financial, wearing a tailored suit that actually fits. But he's still the same man who knelt in a puddle to save a stranger. The difference is what's happening around him. On the wall, a map of Chicago is covered with green pins. Each pin represents a character initiative success story. There are 47 pins now. Harold points to the map during their weekly review meeting. Tell me about Mrs. Patterson. Mrs. Patterson, the same neighbor who gave Jamal a good luck card before his interview. Remember how she always helped elderly residents carry their groceries upstairs? Jamal clicks to the first slide. Even though her own arthritis was getting worse? The woman who never asked for anything in return. Exactly. We gave her a $15,000 interest-free loan to start her grocery delivery service for seniors. The before and after photos tell the story. Before, Mrs. Patterson struggling up 3 flights of stairs with heavy bags, wincing with each step. After, Mrs. Patterson with her branded delivery van, 2 part-time employees, and a client list of over 200 senior citizens. Revenue? Harold asks. 40,000 in her first 6 months. She's hiring 2 more drivers next month. Harold smiles. What else? Jamal clicks to the next slide. Marcus Williams. The photo shows a young black man in a McDonald's uniform, exhaustion evident in his eyes. Marcus worked double shifts to support his 3 kids after his wife died, but every Tuesday night, he volunteered at the community center, teaching kids how to read. What did we see in him? Character under pressure. He was barely surviving, but still found time to help other people's children. The after photo shows Marcus in front of his own tutoring center. Bright lights, computers, children at desks with big smiles. $20,000 startup loan. Business mentorship from our education team. Now he has 12 tutors working for him and helps over 100 kids per week. Profit? Breaking even after 4 months. Projecting $60,000 in revenue by year 1. Harold nods approvingly. And the teacher? Maria Santos. Jamal's voice grows warm. High school teacher who spent her own paycheck on supplies for low-income students. We documented her buying notebooks and pencils with grocery money. The before photo shows Maria at a dollar store, carefully counting coins to buy school supplies. The after shows her in front of a bright, well-equipped classroom. $15,000 education grant plus ongoing supply funding. Her test scores have improved 40%. 3 of her students got full college scholarships this year. Return on investment? Immeasurable. But the school district is implementing her teaching methods system-wide. Harold walks to the window overlooking downtown Chicago. What about the bigger picture? Jamal brings up the Community Impact Report. The 47 Character Initiative recipients have created 230 jobs in the past 6 months. Combined revenue of $1.2 million. 0 defaults on loans. 0? 0. People with character honor their commitments. Media coverage? Chicago Tribune featured us twice. CNN did a segment on character-based investing. We've received inquiries from cities in 12 states wanting to replicate the program. Harold turns back to Jamal. And you? How do you feel about your role? Jamal looks around the conference room. 6 months ago, he was counting quarters for bus fare. Now he's helping design programs that change lives. Honestly, sometimes I can't believe this is real. What's changed for your family? Everything. Jamal's voice catches slightly. My mother's diabetes is under control. Best doctors, best medication. She gained 15 pounds and her energy is back. And Maya? Full scholarship to Northwestern. She's studying business administration, wants to join the Character Initiative after graduation. Harold grins, following in her brother's footsteps. She says I proved that doing the right thing eventually pays off. On Jamal's desk sits the same framed photo of his father in military uniform. But now it's in a nicer frame, in a nicer office, representing the same values in a bigger arena. What's next? Harold asks. We've identified 3 more communities in Detroit, Atlanta, and Phoenix. Potential recipients already screened. Ready to launch Character Initiative chapters in all 3 cities. Timeline? 6 months. We'll start with 20 recipients per city, scale up based on results. Harold walks to the map, counts the green pins. You know what this represents, Jamal? Successful investments? Proof of concept. Proof that character-based business isn't just idealistic, it's practical. Harold points to a news article framed on the wall. Morrison and Associates posts record profits while revolutionizing community investment. Our traditional business is up 30% this year. Clients trust us more because they see our values in action. Employees work harder because they believe in the mission. So the Character Initiative is good for our bottom line. It's essential for our bottom line, and more importantly, Harold looks at the map of pins, each representing a life changed, a family helped, a community strengthened. It's proof that one person's choice to help a stranger can create ripple effects beyond imagination. But the biggest test of Jamal's character was still coming. 1 year later, the test arrives on another rainy Tuesday morning. Jamal is walking to an important board meeting where Harold plans to announce his official succession timeline. After 12 months of mentorship, Jamal is ready to take on greater responsibility at Morrison and Associates. The same Chicago streets, the same unpredictable weather. But this time, Jamal carries himself differently. Confident stride, expensive umbrella, a man who belongs in the corporate world. Then he sees her. A young Latina woman, maybe 25, struggling with a stroller on the sidewalk. Her job interview folder is getting soaked in the downpour. Papers scattered. She looks panicked, desperate. Jamal checks his watch. The board meeting starts in 8 minutes. Harold is waiting. The announcement about his future depends on this meeting, but the woman is clearly in distress. The familiar crossroads, the same moral choice that changed his life. Without hesitation, Jamal closes his umbrella and rushes over. Miss, are you okay? My interview, she says in accented English. Morrison and Associates. I'm late and my papers. Jamal's heart stops. She's interviewing at his company. Let me help. He shields her and the stroller with his umbrella, kneeling to collect her soggy documents. Sir, you'll be late for your meeting. This is more important, Jamal calls his assistant. Reschedule my 10 a.m. family emergency. He helps her into a taxi, gives the driver $40. Get her to Morrison and Associates. Take care of her. Wait, the woman says. Who are you? Jamal smiles and hands her his business card. Jamal Washington, Vice President of Community Investment. Tell them I sent you, and mention that you helped a stranger when you could have focused on yourself. Her eyes widen as she reads the card. Mr. Washington, why are you helping me? Because someone once helped me, and it changed everything. The taxi drives away. Jamal stands in the rain, soaking wet again, but grinning. 30 minutes later, he walks into the board meeting, dripping water on the marble floors. Harold looks up from the conference table, takes in Jamal's appearance, and slowly smiles. Let me guess. Someone needed help? A woman interviewing for our new analyst position. She was struggling in the rain, and I missed an important meeting to help her. Jamal nods sheepishly. Harold stands up, addresses the board. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the future of Morrison and Associates. He turns to Jamal. That woman you helped, her name is Carmen Rodriguez. Single mother, community college graduate, volunteers at a homeless shelter despite working 2 jobs. How do you know? Because I've been watching her for months. She was my final test for you. Harold's eyes twinkle. Congratulations, Jamal. You just proved that success hasn't changed your character. The board applauds, but Jamal realizes something profound. The kindness tradition has come full circle, and now he gets to pay it forward for the rest of his life. Jamal's story reminds us of something powerful. Kindness isn't just about the moment you choose to help. It's about the ripple effects that spread far beyond what you can see. When Jamal stopped in that storm, he thought he was just helping one stranger. He had no idea he was creating a movement that would change hundreds of lives. Your moment is coming too. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. You'll face a choice between taking care of yourself and helping someone else. Remember, Jamal. Remember that character is what you do when it costs you something. In the comments below, tell us about a time someone's unexpected kindness changed your day. Or share a moment when you chose to help, even when it wasn't convenient. Hit that like button if you believe good people still exist. Subscribe for more stories that prove kindness wins in the end. And remember, you never know when your small act of character might be exactly what someone needs to change their entire life. Your Harold Morrison moment is waiting.